All right, this may be better. What's going on, guys? Let's see if this actually is a little bit better. Where's my I don't know what any of this is. What's going on, guys? Let's get active. Um, so yeah, what are we going to? We're gonna go over the charts if it allows me to share my screen. If not, then I gotta figure this thing out. I will have to figure this out. Let's see. Hopefully the mic is coming out of my actual microphone as well too. Yeah, we should be good, money. It's this is the camera. So yeah, let me see. Does it allow me to share my screen? Let's see. Screen one. Let's see if it allows. Also share system audio. Sure, why not? Access screen recording. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hey, we might be on to something. We might be on to something. There we go. We are now in the building. This is good. Make sure the stream is good. Make sure we are active. Yeah, we should be good, money. All right, perfect. Let's get active, man. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over the charts, for a little bit. Give me like 1 second. Give me 1 second. The timer just went off on this. Give me 1 second. Let me go check that out. All right, we should be good, buddy. All right, let's get active, guys. So yeah, I want to talk about. I'm gonna go over the charts. Gonna go over gold. I'll probably make a separate video on this as well too, since I'm in that mode. But I'm gonna go over gold. What I'm gonna be looking at this upcoming week, and I want to talk about some truth. Like as you can see by the title, um, starting a business as a trader, because the world teaches us this completely different thing, and you guys understand that you don't have to necessarily be teaching to start a trading business or have a successful business or start a business from trading. Um, the world teaches like you gotta be sharing all these bank statements and stuff like that, all these broker statements and stuff to start a business, a trading business. Not everybody wants to start a business to actually teach anything. You can start a business, you can start a community. You don't To provide value, you don't necessarily have to teach a strategy. And I want to talk about my business as a testimony to it. To kind of give you guys a little bit of insight, show you guys how amazing, God really is, man. But let's get active. Give me 1 second. All right, let's get active. Let me make sure this is good. All right, perfect. So let's get active. Let's go over gold. So first things first, I'll go over gold in probably Nas and SPX. Those are going to be the main pairs I'm gonna be focusing on, or the only pairs I'm really focusing on this week. Mainly gold. And once I'm done breaking down the charts, I'm gonna talk about. We could just go in probably for the next 30 minutes or however long, about the topic that I wanted to go over. But when it comes to gold, gold is clear as day bullish. One thing for me, when I always come to the markets, one thing I always do is I identify the season that the market is in. Like, is it in season, meaning the reason why I personally say season, because it tells me the type of trades that I'm gonna take, and the type of positions that I'm looking to take. So when the market is in that like base hit season, that consolidation season, for example, like this right here, like this right here, like this right here, when the market is in that type of season, then I'm looking for base hits. I'm not looking for no home run trades. I'm not looking to hold the trade for ever, looking at game 1 to 5, 1 to 6. Now I'm getting those base hits, those 1 to 2s, 1 to 1s, whatever the case may be. And when the market is in that, I call it the level up. But when the market is in that trending, because the market can really only be in two seasons: trending or consolidating, whether it's bullish or bearish or just consolidating. One of the seasons, one or the other. Make it very, very simple. And when the market is in that trending condition, that trending season, those are the level ups. That's where it's time to, look for those bigger risk to awards, scale in, flow with the trade a lot more, put that risk on the table from the equity that you build with the account. And that's personally what I like to focus on. So seeing the past couple of weeks, basically the last 2 weeks, the market really was in that base hit season, like consolidation season. But with FOMC that happened this week, price finally broke out and we could see a nice potential rally on gold. So for me, I do want to make sure that I mark off the high, this resistance range up here. Let's drag this box over here. Just to have this marked off. I don't like the way that looks. I don't like that long line. I'm going to just do a regular line. I don't want that full long line. So I have this resistance marked off, and I'm just identifying the key, higher low points, higher high points, whatnot. But I'm looking at it from a longer term perspective. Realistically, price would have to break above here for like the higher low down here to be valid. But if I'm looking at this higher low within this range, we have one right here. This higher low right here. So price essentially, if it wanted to, it could come all the way down here, create a higher low, and then go up even more. Price can come down a little bit more and then go up higher. So price can really do anything, but as long as price doesn't start breaking below here, then price could potentially still go bullish. So I got that identified on the daily time frame, and what I'm going to do as well is just mark this off in some fashion for me to identify it as like that main higher low down here. And now, very, very simple. Just looking at market structure high, this higher low, price is actually trading above this consolidation range. This was this key consolidation range, like way down here. Price finally broke above. Price still could potentially pull back down into this area. I wouldn't be surprised if it does, but I'm not going to assume that price is going to do that. So I'm going to just mark this off right here. Boom. So I'm looking at it, as long as price made, well, it already got here because it gapped. So essentially already got to the highs. I would consider this a successful touch of the resistance. The touch gap overlap, price already, it got to the resistance. So it's basically valid. But price could potentially come back down into this area. If it does successfully hold its support, then I can look for buys here. And prices also, if I go down to the 1 hour time frame, price is actually trading right here at this minor area. This minor zone right here. I'm not going to mark it off because I just like to keep my charts as clean as possible. So I want to see something. Sunday, if price comes down, creates a higher low and starts holding as support, then I'll look for a buy there. And what I would do is I wouldn't have a crazy big stop loss, because a crazy big stop loss would essentially be me putting my stop loss way below here. And I'm not getting in no position. That doesn't make sense to me to get into a position here and have my stop loss way down here. And then I'm looking to target like the resistance range up here. This doesn't make any sense to me. So what I'll do is, if this is that double bottom, I'll have my position something looking, let's say, somewhere roughly around here. And if that is the case and price doesn't hold, cool, I'll take the small loss. And what I'll do is look to see if price does come down into this area of support. And then if that is the case and price does come down and rejects here and I get that entry there, then yes, I will take the entry here and I will put my stop loss below here at 4,200. And then I will look to target back up into the resistance range up here. So that'll be the position that I'm essentially looking for. Now, if price once again does hold, then I'll look to take buys. Now, if price just decides to, because gold easily can do this, it does it all the time. But if price just decided to just pump up, then I would simply just wait for a higher low to form. Boom, wait for that higher low, look to get in, have my stops below support, and look to target up into the resistance. As simple as that. That's what I'm going to be looking at on gold. I'm really going to put more emphasis on gold, honestly. Oh, what I do want to do is make sure I set my alerts. I'm going to set one here at this area of support, and then I'll set another one just in case price gets up into this range right here. Not 4,300, that's too close. 43, yeah, let's call it 43.15. So those are my alerts on gold. And then Nas, what I'm going to be looking at on Nas is very, very simple as well, too. If we just scale out, look at Nas, it's nice double top, but price is still overall bullish. Like at the end of the day, price is still longer term trading bullish. What could happen is this could be a potential higher low, and there's a key area that I do want to mark off right here. That price actually broke above. Price could potentially come back down into this zone, anywhere within the zone potentially. Price could potentially come back down into the zone, and if it does successfully hold a support, I could see a potential buy back up into this first area of resistance right here. And I know like all of these areas are key areas on the lower time frames without even me going to it. It's just using my eyes, and I've been trading now, so I already know the levels. I just like to a lot of times keep my charts clean. But when I go down to the lower time frame, very, very simple. Just a matter of trading from level to level to level. What I'm gonna do is actually make this a little bit cleaner. How do I want to do it? This is clean, but this looks a little bit, yeah, this looks cleaner to me. More rejections here, more rejections here, another rejection here. And this looks clean to me as well, but let's adjust it a little bit. And let's have it right here. So that's kind of clean. And then what I'll do with this last one is adjust this a little bit to about right here. So literally just a game of ping pong. If price successfully maintains and holds as support above 25, let's call it 100 just to round it off. If price successfully maintains above 25, 100, then I'll look for buys up into 25, 700. If price starts trading below here, then I can potentially see price coming down into 24, 600, so forth and so forth. All I care about is these three areas where price is currently trading at right now. I don't care about anywhere below or anywhere above. All I care about is these three zones right here. If price breaks above and starts trading above here, this zone down here is no longer valid to me. And I would simply take this zone off. Let's say price is trading up here. And I will add the next zone. I'm gonna just do a line right here, but I'm gonna take this off. But I would do this next zone. So now these three would be the only relevant zones that I'm focused on, and vice versa. If price were to, let's say, break and come down to this level here and start trading at 24,600, then these would be this would be another minor one. I wouldn't want to neglect this one because price did reject this one, so there's two down here. But this up here would be irrelevant to me, and all I would, if let's say price was trading right here, then all I would be focused on is this one, and this one. As simple as that. And the price will break lower, down into that. And that's how simple I keep my trading. I don't like to overcomplicate it. I don't care about what's going on everywhere else. I'm just focused on what's going on right here in this moment, right? So that's what I'm gonna be looking at on Nas. Very, very, very simple. And if I were to like look at my kind of internal 1 hour zones where price could potentially come down into, we got this one right here, this area of support down here, and then resistance wise, when price held a support, We got potentially this resistance range up here. I mean, well, price is already there. That's too close. I'm not gonna draw that out. That's too close. I would say essentially right here. Yeah, because if I look left, like price was holding here in this area as well. So I would essentially say somewhere in this area right here, if price were to hold a support. So this is all I'm focused on Nas, just these areas. If price maintains and hold its support, price could potentially come up into this resistance range. And if it breaks above, it could potentially come up to here. Literal game of ping pong. If price breaks below here, price could come to this area. If it holds the support, price could potentially come back up into here. If price breaks below here, price could potentially come down into this area of support. If price, I already said that scenario, but if price rejects here, price can come up into this range. And if it gets up into this range, it can either reject it and come back down into this area of support, or it can break above and come up into this resistance range. As simple as that. Nothing more to it, not complicated at all. SVX is essentially more so the same thing. I would just have to, I'm not going to mark it up now, mark it up later on. But it's essentially the same thing. I would just have to draw my areas a little bit different. Well, it actually does not look the exact same. It looks a little bit different. Yeah, it looks a little bit different. The drop on Nas was a little bit more. But yeah, either way, that's what I'm gonna be looking at when it comes to indices and gold. So, with that being said, the topic very very quick. It's not gonna be a crazy long live because I'll make like a separate video on it where I'm just going in with the better like setup. I can have my camera and everything, not just going live based off of YouTube. But um, the topic of discussion is starting a business as a trader. You guys know that you can start a business with trading and you're not making tens of thousands of dollars. Or you can start a business and you're not teaching nobody, you're not sharing profits or none of that. And I got my testimony that I want to share as well. But if you were starting a business, if you're doing something because you want to, it's all about your intentions. That's the number one thing is what are your intentions? Who is your audience? Who are the people that you are trying to reach? If you be a wolf in sheep clothing, like the word tells us, but if you're being a deceiver and you're lying, if you're doing it just for the money and you're doing it just for, the attention, the money, and X, Y, and Z, you're going to put on a false image and your focus is going to be, having the biggest profits, getting the cars, the Lamborghinis, and all this, the materialistic stuff. That's going to be your focus. That's the image that you're going to create for yourself. And you're going to attract those people. So when people start coming at you and start hitting you with oh, let's say your car is like fake, your car is leased, X, Y, and Z, show me the broker statement, show me X, Y, and Z, show me all of this. They want the proof, want the proof, want the proof. You can't get mad and upset at those people because that is the image that you portray. That's your image that you portrayed. You decided to do that. That's on you. It's as simple as that. But if you're somebody who's like, yo, I'm gonna start a business that I'm not teaching people how to trade, I'm just trying to learn myself. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to how you can give others. Providing to others does not necessarily have to be teaching them. Providing to them could be giving them a space, giving them a community. You're the one that started a community of like-minded individuals because you know that that niche of people that you're looking to attract, those are going to be the people that's going to be in your business. And you're providing value because you're giving them a place where they can come and they can chop it up and they can be together. And because the Bible tells us in Proverbs, is it 15? I could be wrong, but the Bible tells us in Proverbs that a wise man surrounds him. What is it? A righteous man surrounds himself around wise counsel, but a companion of fools shall be his destruction. So you may just want to be somebody, and it's like you keeping 100. It's like, yo, guys, like, I'm starting this business, I'm starting this thing, I'm starting this. Like, it's not even really you're teaching nobody. Well, I'm starting a community, I'm going live and stuff like that, but I'm building my own strategy. I'm still in the learning stage. You may not even have a strategy, but I'm still learning. And you're sharing with people, yo, this is how I'm learning. And you have a bunch of other people, a group of people that are on that type time, and they may be learning this and they give you some gems and y'all just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's not like anybody's teaching anything. No, you just are the one that decided to build the platform. You built the platform for everybody else to come to, and people will be willing to pay you for that. You guys don't understand. That's a very, very powerful. Think about it. People pay hundreds of thousands of dollars, whatever the case may be, to go to concerts and all these different events and stuff where they're surrounded around people that are coming because they listen to Drake. So y'all have something to bond on. Y'all know all the lyrics together and all this X, Y, and Z. They have all that type of stuff to bond on, all the worldly stuff, right? The music and all that stuff, right? Whatever the event is, you have that to bond on. But with the trader, you guys know that not everybody gets you, you know. Not everybody understands what you're doing, what you're going through. So you guys gotta understand that. And you want to have a business, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. Just make that your intention and let that be known. Trust and believe people will, gravitate towards that. And that's why I say, like, that's what my testimony. Because with my business, I didn't even want to start a business, honestly. Like, my intentions wasn't to start a business. And all of a sudden, it's funny how God works. And I knew it was all God, because this was a period of, like, I wasn't even on social media for like 3 months. And then all of a sudden, somebody hits me up, yo, Siri, can you be my mentor? Like, I would really like for you to help guide me, help me with my strategy. Not teach me, like, how to trade. No, it's like I need help me put it together, because you're very, very good at simplifying things. Can you help me simplify it? Like, you may see something that I don't see. Could you help me with that? And I'm like, sure, why not? And as soon as I said yes, somebody else hit me up. And somebody else hit me up. And I was like, okay, guy, if we're doing this business thing, right? One thing that I don't want to do is I don't want to follow the masses on this. I don't want to be somebody who's sharing profits, because I don't want to teach profits. I don't want to teach profits. I want to teach freedom, because seeing all those profits and stuff like that, I don't want to attract those type of people. I want to teach freedom. And because $100,000 is different for everybody else. It may not take you $100,000 to buy your freedom. You making a extra 3,000, 4,000, couple $100, whatever the case may be, a month, that's your freedom. You bought your freedom with that. Whatever it is, like, let's say your 9 to 5 was, you was getting paid, let's say $2,000. $2,000. Let's just round it off. Let's say 3,000. Let's say you was getting paid $3,000 a month from your 9 to 5, and for trading, for you to buy your freedom, boom, you make the 3,000, but now you're making $5,000. Now you can take care of all your bills and stuff like that, plus some. $5,000 a month, that could be your freedom, not $100,000 X, Y, Z, and that could deteriorate a lot of people. And I told you, I was like, yo, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not about to share profits and all this X, Y, and Z. That's not it. And he told me to start, and guess what? I didn't. That's one thing I do in my business. Like, and people know that in my business is, like, I don't share profits. I obviously share that I trade live because I do the webinars. And that's the one thing that I've noticed with this business, and that really clicked and made things so known for me. I'm like, yo, I got to spread this truth, because a lot of people could be going through the same thing. Like, when I started, one thing that I noticed the most about my business, right, is people don't necessarily care about the course material, because they already have their own strategy. They just will need help, like, putting things together, certain things. So they don't want to necessarily learn my strategy. The one thing that they love the most is the webinars and the community that we have of like-minded individuals, where you can come in, you can question certain things, and you have all those people, like, rocking with you. You could be going through something, we're there to lift you up, and everybody's sharing their testimony, everybody's sharing their win, their losses, and that's what people love the most. It's not the profits, and people are cool with that, and people actually gravitate towards me for me, not for how much money I make. And that's the beautiful part about it. And because this is what I told myself, this is the reason why I don't do that, because I know that we deal with spirits. This is spiritual warfare. And I told myself, it's like, yo, if I were to make $50,000 versus me making $500, would you look at me different? And if the question is yes, it's like, I wouldn't want you a part of my business anyway. I wouldn't want you around me. If you look at somebody differently because of how much money they make, not who they are on the inside, not their character, I wouldn't want that. And that's why I was like, yo, I'm not about to have my business on that. I'm not about to have people gravitating towards me because what if I make $50,000 or if I make X, Y, and Z, it doesn't matter. That's how much money I make is irrelevant to your journey. How does that help you buy your freedom? Somebody can make $200,000, but how does them making $200,000 help you buy your freedom? So it's like you can start your own business. You can start your own community. You may not have 20 years of experience. That's okay. That's just something to always keep in mind. But yeah, that's the quick topic of discussion that I wanted to go over today. I'm gonna make like a separate video, or just post this live as well. Probably make two different videos. Probably split it up. Probably breaking down the charts, and then talk about this topic again. I'll probably do that tonight. Probably do that right now, honestly, so I can actually do it on my screen and not have to do it on the like YouTube live thingy. Because I gotta fix that. I don't know. I gotta fix my OBS. But other than that, I appreciate you all so much for tuning into the live. If you got anything out of this, it's okay to be different. It's okay to be set apart. It's okay to not follow the norm. It's okay to not follow the trend. You don't have to listen to what everybody else tells you. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. If you are doing something, if you're starting a business, whatever the case may be, if you're doing it with the right intentions and you make that known of this is the intentions of this, those people are going to gravitate towards you for you, not the material. If you are somebody, once again, like I said, if you're somebody who you just want to start a business just to make money, and that's all you care about is making money, it's very easy. That's common sense. You think about what's the easiest way to deceive people. Like you give like the dopamine rushes that people get. That's common sense. So you just share materialistic stuff. You go rent you a Lamborghini and all that type of stuff like that, and share that. You travel and just share all the materialistic stuff, and you're gonna attract that group of people. And there's a vast group of people. So yeah, you would get the money at X, Y, and Z, but at what cost? If that is that truly you, at the cost of your soul, because what you're doing is deceiving others and you're lying to others. And the scriptures tell us about that. The Matthew chapter 23, it talks about that as well. There's so many scriptures that talks about deceiving others, but that one in particular popped in my mind. But Matthew chapter 23, it talks about the Pharisees that sit in Moses' seat. So these are somebody with high influence. They're like higher level, like they're high influence, right? And it says, listen to what they tell you, but don't do what they do because they don't do it. They do what they do for attention for man. Nothing is new under the sun, bro. The same spirits that those Pharisees was having, the same exact spirits that people have now. People got to understand that it's not a fleshly thing. This is spiritual warfare. We don't wrestle against flesh and blood. We wrestle against spirits. So those same spirits that was on those Pharisees, the same spirits are in those people now. Pride, seeking attention. Spirits, it doesn't matter if you are a female, a male, whatever race you are, a spirit is a spirit. It don't matter it don't matter what gender you are, it don't matter what race you are, as a spirit is spirit. Anybody can have that spirit. So you gotta discern and test the spirits. But those same people back then, they were doing the exact same thing. They were telling people this, they were making themselves seem almighty, all high and mighty, and people and they got the attention from man. That's they got the love and they got the X, Y, and Z. It's like, oh, these are such righteous men, these are amazing men, right? But they were lying and they were deceiving others because they weren't doing them themselves. That's like somebody who's out of shape, right? Let's say obese, out of shape, don't work out, none of that. And they're sitting there trying to give you fitness advice on your fitness journey. They're trying to give you fitness advice and they're trying to tell you what you need to do or what you don't need to do. And remember, these Pharisees, they were smart. They knew the Bible, they knew the scriptures. So a lot of these people that are deceiving you, they know what they're talking about. They know how to deceive you. Anybody could read a book, anybody could read the Bible. Anybody could read the Bible and clearly see this X, Y, and Z. And anybody can say, oh, I'm gonna take this and twist and turn it. Anybody, even if you're like obese and you're fat and out of shape, even if that's still the case, bro, you can still learn about like exercises and learn about working out and stuff. You're not doing this yourself, but you know everything about it. The Bible says don't just be a hearer and not a doer. You got to hear the word and do it. So that doesn't make sense. Somebody's fat and out of shape and they're trying to give you advice on your diet, on the way that you eat, on the way that you work out. It doesn't make sense. It's the same exact thing when it comes to like just trading industry and like starting a business or a platform. It doesn't even have to be a business, bro. Like if you want to create content, do YouTube videos and document your journey, do Instagram videos, whatever the case may be. You can start right now wherever you're at. You don't have to be making a certain dollar amount. When you keep that in mind, ask yourself, who are the people that I truly, really want to reach? What makes me happy? And when you ask yourself that and you identify that, you will know the exact content that you want to do. Just be yourself. That's the number one thing. Just be yourself. You don't have to put on no front, no act. And that's one thing that I preach, like, is a lot. Like, just be yourself. And I tell people that, and people know that about my business. That's why people don't grab. That's why my business has the people that it does, and it doesn't have the people that it shouldn't. Because because one thing about me, everybody knows if you watch my content before you join nobody just joins anybody's business without knowing the person. Nobody's going to just join your business if they don't know who you are. This random person, I'm gonna just randomly join their business. No. One thing that people will do that is, remember, if you're just portraying materialistic stuff, or I made $50,000 X, Y, and Z today. Yes, people will easily gravitate towards that because you just showed them they made $50,000 and they want $50,000. Of course, people are going to gravitate towards that. But if you have a true intentions and you're not trying to share that, then people have to gravitate towards you for you. So if you're not sharing profits and stuff, then people have to gravitate to you because of you. That's something to always keep in mind. People gravitate towards you for it. Be yourself, bro. Just be yourself. That's one thing about me. I don't follow scripts. I don't care about what the world says and none of that. Like it's okay. It's really okay to break free from the matrix. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be set apart. Just question it. Do your own research. If you want to start your own thing, start your own content, start your own business, and you have the right intentions, just start. Once again, you may start a trading business and it's not teaching anybody. You were just the one that set up the platform for the community. You just set up the platform and you just getting everybody to pull up. You just getting everybody to pull up. As simple as that. You wanted to document and share your journey, and you attract those people that, either they want to document it as well. They don't have to want to document their own journey. They could, but they could be those people like, like somebody else is like, oh, wow, you're at the same stage as I am. Oh, you still trying to figure out how to build your strategy. You still trying to figure out how to do this. You should, okay, I'll rock with that. I want to be a part of that, because like, I can't talk to my best friend about this, my mom, my pops, my brothers and sisters, my family. You can't talk to your family, but they don't get it. They don't understand. Yeah, you blew your account. You're going through the spiritual warfare on the charts. They don't get it. They don't understand it. But you surrounding yourself around those like-minded people is like, something happens, you fall short. Somebody's right there to pick you up. They fell short. Y'all picking each other up. Iron sharpens iron. The Bible said there's a friend that sticks closer than the brother. It's all these things, right? You can do that. And if you are somebody that wants to share your profits, go ahead. And if you're not making $1,000, $5,000, $20,000, $50,000, six-figure profits, you could be making $10 and you want to share that in your business. Guess what? I can guarantee you there will be people out there that gravitate towards you, because understand this. If you think the way that you think, and if you have that mindset of that's what your intentions, don't you think that there's somebody else out there that has that? And don't you think that if you're doing the will of God and doing things with good intentions, don't you think that he will give you the desires of your heart? If you're saving souls and you're actually, helping others, don't you think that God will bless you and God will send those people your way? And on top of that, speak life into your business. Who cares? If you have one person in there, who cares if nobody joined? Who cares? Speak life into it every single day. My business is flourishing. The power is in the tongue, bro. My business is flourishing. I will attract the people that's meant for me. My audience, God will bring that audience to me. Speak that into your life and just keep on showing up. And that alone, that will make you love creating content. And you're not doing it for the views. That's one thing that I've learned, like I said, once again with my testimony. And that's the way that, like, I love the way my business is, because one thing people know is when you sign, if you pull up to the fam, pull up to the community, God is always at the center. That's one thing about me. I always start off the calls. I always every single thing is all about God. And like I said, that's why people gravitate towards me. It's not profits. People know that. I rarely ever share profits. But the one thing that I noticed the most, I'm like, yo, because everybody has their own like strategy, and I help people. A lot of people just want to see how I trade live. That's like a lot that most people are focused on the course aspect of things, but people with my business, they just love to be trade live, pull up at 9 in the morning, see how the markets move, see how I manage my positions and stuff like that. We trade together. I don't do signals whatsoever. Absolutely not. Um, but none of that. And people just like to hear the truth, spread like the knowledge, like hearing something that's not so normal, like actually spreading the truth about the spiritual warfare that goes on in the markets, how to break free from those type of stuff, like that type of stuff, and being around a community of like-minded individuals, bro. That's it. Many blessings and much success, brother. May the Lord always bless you, keep and guide you throughout each day. Much love, brother. Appreciate you so much. That appreciate you so much for that, and vice versa too, man. Vice versa, vice versa. But yeah, man. Like that's one thing I really wanted to say. That was like on my mind. Because like I said, when I started my business, I never knew that my business was going to be the way that it is because I never wanted it. I never wanted to start it. God made me start it. And I knew that. And I see that, okay, it wasn't necessarily, yes, there are a lot of people that I taught and, help them build their strategy. Cool. But I always give praise to the Most High. And I'm telling you, when you do things the way that God wants you to, you become a lot humble because every single one of those people, they know that I'm like, yo, give the credit to God. It's all praise to the Most High. Because if it wasn't for God having me start this, bro, I would not have been able to help you the way that I did. If it wasn't for God, I would not have been able to help you. Like, then that's one thing that I will always say. If you help somebody, regardless of whatever it is, if you get them closer to whatever it is, and instead of trying to focus on getting the attention for yourself, what brings more fulfillment? This is one thing I learned because a lot of people, um, let's say for example, you taught somebody, you help somebody, they become successful, whatever the case may be, and they don't show you love. They don't post and say that, yep, this person helped me X, Y, and Z. They give all the credit to God, or what I'm saying. And now if they say they did it on their own, it's like, okay, that still shouldn't hurt you or nothing. Because you still help them, you still plant the seed. But if they say, yo, God help me, like all praise to the Most High, X, Y, and Z, you get mad and upset about that. Why? Wasn't your intent? So that shows like the Bible says a good tree can't bear bad fruit and a bad tree can't bear good fruit. You know a tree by its fruit, and that will show you your true colors. If you know that your whole goal is to help people and get people to that next level, you really want to change their lives, and when that happens and they aren't giving you all the credit and they don't like, and you get mad or upset about that, what was your true intentions? That shows what your true intentions were. And I say that all the time. Like, there's a lot of people that I've helped, and I don't want, don't give me the praises. No, because out of all of this, you getting to that point is one thing, but you keeping it and staying like centered and leveling up more, that's a whole nother thing. I can't do that for you. The only person I can't be here every single second of every single day for you. That's why it's like, even with my business, I'm okay. Like, people can come, people can go. That's perfectly fine. The one God will always be with you throughout it all. I can't be here every single second of every single day. So I don't want to be the one that like, oh, he gets all the attention, he gets all the credit. No, give it to God. Because if that helps you build a better relationship with God for the rest of your life, mission accomplished. That's the mission. Because like I say all the time, I don't teach profits, I teach freedom. I teach people how to get freedom, obtain freedom, not just obtain freedom financially, but obtain freedom mentally, obtain freedom spiritually, obtain freedom physically. You can obtain freedom in your mind before you do it in the actual physical world. One thing, you keep that in mind. You can obtain freedom in your mind before you obtain it in the physical world. Before you obtain the financial freedom, and that's why I say all the time, that's why I don't care about the profits. Because I could, let's say, for example, plant the seed in you, and all of a sudden your mind completely changes and you're in a whole different wavelength. And that's it. That's all you needed. That's all you needed. That's all you needed. And you go do your own thing, and now you start leveling up, and eventually you get to the point, it is what it is. That's the same thing. Because I look at it like this, right? Let's say, for example, you gave back to a homeless person, and that person became, because the Bible tells us to create an inheritance for our children's children. But let's say you gave back to a homeless person, And not even just giving back. This is why I say it's bigger than just money. You can teach somebody how to make money easily, but if they have bad intentions, think about it. Look at a lot of these rappers and movie stars and actors, these high level people, right? They have all this money, but yet they are always so sad. Like you look at people like Juice WRLD, right? Juice WRLD was making millions and millions of dollars, right? But all his songs was about coping with pain and drugs and X, Y, and Z. And like you see all that stuff, right? All these people, they have all this money, but yet they never have a fulfillment. All these people, they have all the money and stuff like that, but they can't find that wife or husband, that one person. God is the only one that can give you that true peace. When you keep that in mind, like for example, back to the example of giving back to a homeless person, right? Let's say you don't just give them back money, right? You give them back hope. You give them back wisdom. Like they say they were, let's say they was about to end it all. You know, God forbid, right? They was about to end it all, and you came back. You started preaching the word to them, giving them the scriptures. You know, maybe even give them a Bible, right? You know, tell them like, you know, when you're going through these things, you know, you give them you give them First Peter chapter 1 verse 6. You give them James chapter 1, I forgot the exact one, but you give them these scriptures and let them know that, yo, when you go through these tribulations, you know, that works your patience. When you go through these tribulations, rejoice. You know, God will always give you a way out. God says that he doesn't want anybody to perish. There's an inheritance for you. Deuteronomy chapter 8 verse 18, for when I give you the power to obtain wealth, don't forget that was him that gave it to you. A lot of the times God will humble you and put you in a position to where you have no choice but to go to him. You can't rely on anybody else. Like you're in such a low state, you can't even talk to nobody else about it. You're the only one that he the only one that you could talk to, and you do that for that homeless person, and you just gave them you just gave them a light. Matthew chapter 5 verse 14. You are the light of the world. The city that's built on the hill can't be hidden. And you give that person, you're that light in that person's life, and it's like, yo, I was about to end it all, and this person came here and they told me exactly what I needed to hear at the exact moment. I know that was God that sent that person. It wasn't you. Remember, it's the spirit that led you. It wasn't you. And they don't remember, let's say they don't remember your name or X, Y, and Z. It was like, yo, I just know that was God. God sent this person, and they start building a better relationship with God. They become successful. They get back on their feet. They start their own business. They become a multi millionaire. And what they do is break their generational curses. Now, when they have kids, they share that testimony to their kids. Yep, I was, you know, homeless. I was broke, X, Y, and Z. Then God, not the person's name, not your name, not Seer. Let's say, for example, Seer, not Seer. God sent someone, even if they don't remember your name, God sent someone in my life. And this is what happened to X, Y, and Z. And it made me get closer to him. So now what they start doing is teaching their kids how to, you know, get closer to God, X, Y, and Z. And guess what? They teach their kids how to get closer in God, closer in God. And even if your name is not remembered and you don't necessarily get the credit, you still got to remember that you still planted the seed. God still used God still use you to plant the seed and change all that. You may not get the credit for it. You may not be plastered on the, you know, newspaper X, Y, and Z, and their name will always remember. But what you did was you changed somebody's life. Isn't that much more fulfillment than you get all the credit for X, Y, and Z? Just ask yourself that. That's just me personally. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. So among many spirits. Yep. Exactly. The market is a home to many spirits. Got to make sure we go into it with the Holy Spirit's intentions to create wealth for his community and his lost sheep. 110%, bro. 110%. Like you always got to discern between the spirits and stuff like that. And one of the biggest things, like I said, a lot of people, they think that you got to give back money to the homeless. And even still, you still should give back to the poor, even if it's just a little bit, because the Bible says, be not forgetful to entertain strangers, because sometimes you're entertaining angels. Sometimes you may be entertaining angels. And remember, if you ever think that just because you're giving back a little bit, a couple of dollars, or if you only have $5 to give back $1, whatever the case may be, still give back. Remember the story of the lady, right? I think she only had like a couple of pennies or X, Y, and Z, and that was all she had. all she had. She gave back. But the Pharisees, whoever they were giving back a whole bunch more money. Let's say thousands of dollars in today's time. They were giving back so much more, but they were so much more wealthy. So let's say, for example, in today's ages, they were making, let's say, 7 figures, right? They were making 7 figures, but they was only giving back $1,000, and they was thinking they was doing something. Jesus said that the lady that was giving back the least, she would be the most, she would be the highest, versus those other ones that was giving back that much, but they had way more to give back. They could have given back way more. So that's something to always keep in mind. You can always be planting a seed as well. And a lot of people like to, and when you give back to the poor, don't give back trying to seek attention or trying to get something back in return. Because a lot of people do the whole, and this is like this is the biggest thing. Like this, it woke me up and it made me realize that that's really one big deception. A lot of people think that they say, oh, like I don't give back to the poor because, they just use that money to go buy drugs. Yes, some of them do that. Did you physically go see that person do it? And if you did, okay, cool. It is what it is. That's common sense. Why would you want to continue to feed into their sin? If you gave this person money, you clearly go see that person buy drugs and X, Y, and Z. Next time, you don't necessarily have to give that person money. You don't have to hate that person or resent that person, because if you was in their position, you did the exact same thing. Don't give them back money. Just give them back truth. Just give them back the word. Just give them back wisdom. You don't even got to give them money. Give them the scripture about that you shouldn't be drunkard. You shouldn't be a drunkard. Give them that scripture. You don't got to give them money. And a lot of people's like, oh, if you didn't see them do that, don't assume that. And you want to know why I say that? Because think about it. People will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to a young boy concert, a rapper concert, whoever it is, right? Spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to that concert, right? You're giving them money, you're feeding into them, but can't give back $5 to the poor. Oh, well, they use that money to go buy drugs and X, Y, and Z. Don't these rappers do the exact same thing with your money? They literally promote it in their music. I got pounds of this. I got pounds of that. I got double cup, triple cup, quadruple cup. They talk about they used all this money. They have pounds and pounds and pounds of all this stuff right there, right? And they're promoting that. That's what their music, and you're rapping about it and singing it. So what's the difference? Don't they take art? They just take a majority more of it, and they go buy a big load of it. The homeless, they just taking to go buy a little if they do that. That's why it's like you shouldn't have that mindset that every single homeless person you give money to, they're just gonna take it and buy drugs. You never know. $10 to you may be nothing, or $5 to you may not be enough, but to them is everything. Chart looks bullish on trend, but I would be shorting it from a box theory just off first cut. What's a box theory? Never heard of that. What's a box theory, bro? 2-1. I agree with everything you said about it. Oh yeah, for sure. Put me on game, bro. What's a box theory? I never heard that. I'm always a student to the game, even though I have my own way of trading, my own strategy. I'm always a student to the game. I love to learn how everybody else, trades, how you guys trade, how you do your thing. It's always dope. Chart looks bullish on trend, but that's actually a good thought. I don't know if you trade like indices. I don't know if you trade SPX or anything like that. If this is like an actual setup that you'll be looking for. I went over what I'm gonna be looking at with gold and Nas tomorrow and this upcoming week. The market is about to be lit next week, bro. Lit. We got CPI, I think NFP. I think CPI and NFP in the same like day. Hold on. I think so, right? Let me see. Let me check something real quick. Not same day, same week. I'm tripping. I think we got CPI and NFP this week. Yeah, you got Tuesday. It's supposed to be, but Tuesday at 8:30 usual time. But you got retail sales, you got NFP, you got unemployment rate, and then Thursday CPI, unemployment claims. That'd be crazy. NFP and CPI, because of course the news is catching back up with the whole government shutdown. But that'd be crazy. That'd be a crazy time in the market. But I'm mainly putting more emphasis on gold. Even though Nas is clean as well, I can see buys and sells on Nas, depending on where the market is trading at. But gold is just beautiful. Gold is just clean. Gold is just so clean. Gold is as clear as day buys all day. All day. I don't know what to be in right now. What do you trade, bro? What do you trade? Like, what are your main pairs that you trade? But yeah, that's what I'm gonna just wait for gold. Gold could potentially come down into here to potentially create a higher low, or gold could come a little bit here to create a higher low, and I'll look for buys. But the main TP, like I've been talking about this for a while, it still can happen. But the main longer term TP is 4,500 for me personally. It may not happen right now, it may not happen this year, eventually, but eventually that's like the longer term setup for me on gold. Um, I'm stuck in crypto, Nasdaq. Okay, I've been doing text. Okay, and rare earth like area. Okay, okay. Interesting. So what do you trade like you trade crypto like how like you would naturally like regularly trade like gold or something like that, or are you more like investing wise when it comes to your cryptos? Cryptos is actually beautiful. A gym, a gym for you guys as well. When it comes to like crypto, something that I love to do to like make your money make more money, right? So if you know how to trade gold, you can trade Nas, you can trade indices, you can trade crypto, you can trade all these. If you know how to trade, you know how to trade. Doesn't matter the pair. You can apply the same skill set. But let's say, for example, right, just a random numbers. I know the percentages may be off or and everything, but let's say, for example, you made $2,000, right? Let's say you made $2,000 off of gold. If you can analyze and you know how to trade, let's say something like Ethereum or any crypto, whatever crypto, XRP, whatever crypto it is, right? What you can do is instead of like, let's say you're about to make a withdrawal, instead of making that withdrawal and immediately putting it in your bank, you can transfer that into a crypto where that crypto can you can make more money off of it. So let's say for a prime example, right? Let's say XRP. Let's say you've seen a setup and you see that this could be a potential buy. Let's say boom, higher high, higher low, and you see that price could potentially pump up to a little bit higher, but let's just keep it like here. Let's just keep it in shorter terms. But let's say, for example, price came down into this area of support at this point in time, and we're just going to focus on like this little in between here. At this point in time, you've seen a setup, and instead of you taking, let's say you made $2,000, you was going to keep $1,000 in your trading account, you was going to withdraw the other thousand into your bank account instead of immediately putting it into your bank account. Now, if you need to buy something, of course, duh. But if you're just going to put it in your banking account, just say you got $1,000 in your banking account, you can have it in your crypto and put it in your XRP, and then whenever you need to withdraw from it, then you withdraw from it. Because look at this. This was a potential up into this area, an extra 3% gain. Sometimes it's bigger moves. Sometimes you could have had a bigger move. Let's say you got in some right here and you got this move up here. You made an extra 10%. I ain't never seen a bank account or safe or Wells Fargo make 10% in a day. I ain't never seen that in my bank account. Me personally. I ain't never seen like I just put the money in my banking account and then the same day it go up 10%. I ain't never that just me personally. But that's like but that's one thing that I've noticed as well. That's one thing that I love to do. And like let's say for example that extra, I'm just using random numbers, but let's say you put that $1,000 here and off that 1,100, you made, let's just say you made an extra $100. You can easily, that's an extra $100 that you made, and you can take that an extra $100, go put gas in the car, go get you some groceries. And that's not even touching your actual like withdrawal. You just made more off of that. So off of that initial 100, and what you can do is, let's say for example, price comes up to this resistance range. You just made an extra 100, so you still got your initial 1,000. Now you're at 1,100. Price comes up here. All right, cool. I'm gonna take that 100 out. Boom. And let's say you take your 1,000 out of let's say XRP, and you go to another pair. And at another pair, you see it has something. It was trading at an area of support. Now you trade your put your $1,000 here, or you know diversify it into different cryptos, and now you can have it here. Like let's say 500 here, or 200 here, 200 here, 200 here, 200 here, or 500 here, 500 here, and just keep on doing the exact same process. until you need to make that actual like a bigger withdrawal. Then you can take it out. But that's a smart way. One thing that I've learned I love to do as well, instead of just putting it in a bank account, if you know how to trade any pair, you can trade, do the same thing, make your money make more money. You can just hold it for however long, set your alerts. If price breaks below a certain area, take the small hit and get out. You're gonna make that money back on the charts as a trader anyway. So that's just like one like gem that I've learned that could potentially, make your money make more money. Um, I want to do forex. Go for it. Go for it. What's holding you back from getting into forex, bro? Why don't you trade forex? What's that thing? It has to be something that's like, yo, why can't you start? Obviously, you can't start trading it today. It's Saturday. um, but why can't you just start trading it tomorrow? I was just buying high, selling low. Oh, okay. So you was just okay. What do you mean account size? What's wrong with your account size? You don't need that much. You don't need a lot of money to trade forex. Forex is the like that's the number one industry to get into if you don't have no money to trade. That's where everybody starts off at. I'm a baggy. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry, I have no idea. I don't know what a baggy means. I have no idea what that means. What does that mean? Yeah, I don't know what a baggy means. Put me on game. I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that means. Left holder on market time. Oh, do you actually like trade? Like, do you actually like, let's say, like, look at the market and analyze it? Like, use TradingView or whatever platform. Um, I'm a bag holder. I don't. What does that mean? What do you mean? Like, you're a bag holder? Is that like a job or is that like a term for the markets? Put me on game. Teach me something. Just so I can understand, because I want to be able to understand like your situation. Oh, okay. So you buy high. Okay. So it's like basically the typical like what why a lot of people would like mess up and like blow accounts. They hear about it. They hear, oh, Bitcoin about to go crazy. Bitcoin hit all time highs, and that's when you get in and don't realize that it hit that all time high after this crazy big push up, and then it gets to that, and then as soon as it hits it, everybody's talking about Bitcoin. Now your grandma even talking about Bitcoin, and then guess what? Everybody starts to take that money out, and it starts coming down, but that's actually a retracement, not the market crashing, the retracement. That's exactly what happened. It was so crazy to me. If you guys are in the trading industry, you guys remember the whole Bitcoin, that Bitcoin drop. Where was the right here? I think it was right here. Yes, this right here. This whole Bitcoin drop that happened in one day, and so many people are so afraid, and like there was even people that took their lives off of this. This right here, I think it was this. I think it was like this one day that Bitcoin had this crazy drop, and everybody was losing their minds and stuff like that. And I looked at Bitcoin, I'm like, bro, that's just a regular retracement. Bitcoin has been flying up. Like, look at the trend. When you just look at it from a weekly time frame, look at what price has been doing for the past couple of years. This is such a beautiful trend. It's essentially it was just a retracement. Price went up, higher high, higher low, higher high. Price is potentially at that higher low. This could be that point, right, where Bitcoin, starts to potentially go back up, but Bitcoin is still overall bullish. Yeah. Between 5 and 5:30, October 10th. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, like somewhere over here. Like it was like on a Friday. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I think it was something, not a video, but it was something that happened that made that happen. I'm like, because I knew it was crazy because my dad even called me. That's how I knew it was something crazy. My dad even called me. Dad was like, "Yo, son, like, yo, like, you okay?" I'm like, "Yo, what are you talking about?" It was funny. It was funny. Dad, My pops, he called me. He was like, "Yo, son, you good, bro? Like everything okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." Was something happened? He was like, "Yeah, bro. I heard, like, I seen the Bitcoin. I heard about Bitcoin crashing. You know, people out here taking their lives and stuff. I just want to make sure you're good." I'm like, "Wait a minute. How do you know this?" So the fact that like that, I was like, okay, that's how that makes sense, and that's why Bitcoin is like dropping, and that's the issue that a lot of people have when it comes getting into the trading industry, and that's one of the issues with those people that promote that dopamine rush. Not necessarily say they doing it in a bad term, but when all you're doing is just promoting, hey, I made $20,000 off of Bitcoin, I made $30,000 off of Bitcoin, I made X, Y, and Z, and that's all you're promoting. You're not teaching people, not like telling people like the truth behind it. Then everybody, oh, let me get in, let me jump in. Or they just made 30,000, let me jump in now. Let me get in now. And then boom, they lose their money. And then all of a sudden, trading isn't for me. I can't do it no more. Blah, 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 blah. The whole cycle, that Forex cycle of doom. That's why it's very, very key to educate yourself. If you want to get into trading, treat trading just like it's learning a new language, bro. Change your life. It'll change your life. Treat trading like, let's say your native language is English. Treat trading like you're learning Mandarin, like you're learning Spanish. Learn the language of trading. Understand what market structure is. Understand what candlesticks is. Understand whatever, however it is you want to trade. If you want to use indicators, understand the indicators that you use. Whatever it is about it, but understand the language of trading. And when you understand the language of trading, trading becomes very, very easy. Think about it. It's easy for me to talk in English. I learned how to talk in English. So it's easy for me to talk in English now. Same thing when you understand the language of trading and you can have conversations about it, building a strategy and putting everything together is easy. That's the easy part. Putting everything together, you just learn. It becomes hard when you make it hard because you start listening to every single person. There's nothing wrong with like, getting courses and mentorships and all this type of stuff for people to help you. But the issue comes in when you start listening more than you start doing. You start listening and consuming all the information, but you don't apply anything. You don't watch 15 different people teach 15 different ways to build a strategy, and you ain't applied none of them. Or you try to apply it, but you don't see it through. You don't fully put in the work. And then on top of that, you don't even apply the actual strategy itself. You apply your own way, and that's, oh, this don't work. Let me go to the next. Prime example, right? I'll give my strategy. My strategy is very, very simple. I'm gonna show you guys like a clean, clear as day example of what I mean. So the way that my strategy works is I need to see these three things present in the market. And if one of them is missing, I don't take the trade. If all the three of them are present, I take the trade. Market structure. So I gotta identify what the trend is. It's a bullish, bearish, whatever the case may be. It's not how you spell structure. Structure. Number two is key areas. So price trading got a key area. And number three is a candlestick telling me to get in. So, prime example, if the market is bullish, if the market is trading bullish, very, very simple. If the market is trading bullish, that means I would be looking for buys at a key area of support. Price comes down, let's call this a support. And once price comes down, then this is the support. All I need is a candlestick, a bullish candlestick. If I see that bullish candlestick, all three are checked off. I'm getting in the trade. Whether I win or lose, I'm getting in a trade. That's my strategy. But if one of them is missing, so let's say, for example, price was trading bullish. We got the market structure, check. Price is trading at this key area of support. Let's say this is the area of support right here. But price comes into this area with a shooting star candlestick. And the next candlestick is still forming. If I were to take a buy and get into the position, even if price were to shoot up 100 pips, that is a bad trade, and that is not a trade in my strategy. So I can't classify that as me building out my strategy with this because I didn't follow the rule. That's the biggest thing. That's what a lot of people like will realize. You could apply my same strategy, but for you may not get the same results because you're not even following it. And this one thing changed my entire. That's how I built my strategy. This one thing changed my everything for me because I started looking at my stats. Because I'm like, yo, I'm gonna build the strategy. Like, I don't need to listen to videos, bro. I've been studying this stuff every single day for years. No reality should I be still listening to everybody else on how I should build a strategy. Let me do my own thing. Stop listening. I told myself, no more YouTube videos, no more courses. We're gonna figure this out. And I kept on actually doing it. And I'm so grateful because me going through that figuring it out period and stopped listening and did more doing, I realized, all right, let me look at my last 10 trades. My last 10 trades. Let me see. Let me make sure all of these actually apply to the criteria of the strategy. Trade one, I lost it, but that didn't even apply to the strategy. Oh, I had the market structure and I had the key area, but I didn't have the candlestick, so that's invalid. The second one, okay, I had the key area and I had the candlestick, but I'm going against the trend. Okay, that's invalid. And I would keep on doing that. I started to see, like, wait a minute, all these losses that I'm taking, I'm not even following the strategy. So this is not even me. Like, I'm not even building a strategy. I'm going against it. And I said, you know what? Let's actually start following it. Every single trade that I would take, I'm like, yo, that's all my focus is. Not about how much money I make. I don't care about none of that. Every single trade that I take, I want to put emphasis on making sure all three of these are present. And I started doing that. And I would start to see out of those 10 trades, more times than not, I would win. Out of those 10 trades, more times than not, when I entered, price went in my direction. Price actually went a decent amount in my direction. And then once that was clicked, then the trade management strategy started coming to play. Cause I'm like, okay, now I got to manage these trades and not give them back. Cause like I would enter the trades a lot of times and the price would go in my direction and my trade management wasn't there. So price would come down and stop me out. But the strategy still played out. I just had to do a better job at managing the trade. And that's what changed for me. That's literally as simple as that. I started actually following the strategy. I'm like, oh, this actually works. And within that period of doing it, the biggest thing happened is I started to build confidence. The hesitation period decreased. So I stopped hesitating. Now it's to the point where if I see a setup, there's no hesitation at all. Immediately I enter. And if I lose, I'm okay with that. Like I can take a loss. I can take a couple of losses because I know that my strategy, it applies to any pair more times than not. It plays out. And when it does play out and I follow the trade management, the risk to reward always compensates for the loss. And that's one thing that you like when you're studying, like let's say you're learning strategies from everybody else, actually try it. And then in that period, once you actually learn the thing to do, try like do what works best for you. When I was learning from people and seeing how to build it, put it together. I'm like, okay, they use trend lines. I don't really like trend lines. They use moving averages. I don't want to use moving averages. Well, they have this, they have that. And they use like SMAs or VWAPs, and I don't want to use that. I just want it to be just pure technical analysis. Well, they have this. I like that. I like that. I'm gonna try to incorporate that. I like that structure. Okay, well, I'm gonna incorporate that. I don't really like that one. And literally, you build your own strategy. There's not one right way to trade. Like I say it all the time. Like even with like key areas, people will call it support resistance, order block, fair value gap, just like bro called it the box theory, or whatever the case may be. It's all the same exact thing. It's an area where you're looking to take a trade. If let's say for example, your box theory tells you that in this area, this specific area is the place that I take the trade. If your fair value gap is this is the area that I'm taking the trade. If your supply and demand, order block, whatever you want to call it, you can call it whatever it is you want to call it. It don't matter. As long as it worked for you, who cares? Who cares? Let me keep that up there for a second. You can call a candlestick like, bro, if you ever, I've never read it, but I've just learned from everybody else being in it, like the trading industry and like hearing it from the people that I teach or just hearing it from like my community and just hearing it from overall, right? There's like the trading, the candlestick Bible has like all those hundreds of candlesticks, bro. They got like Adam and Eve, the cup and cup, or whatever them things is like, and I'm like, yo, that just looks like a double bottom to me. But they got like all, and people actually use that. That's I see my Adam and Eve playing out in X, Y, and Z. Guess what? It's a like bullish or bearish. I don't know what the Adam and Eve is, but if it's a bullish variation that's telling you price potentially goes up, it don't matter what you call it. As long as you make money off of it, bro, that's all that matters. You call it. That's what a lot of people put too much focus on. They put too much focus on like the nitty gritty details instead of like, bro, do your own thing. Trading is a individual sport. That's something to always keep in mind. Trading is not a spectator sport. You make it a spectator sport. Like me teaching this and me sharing my trades and me trading live and all this type of stuff. That's me making it a spectator sport because I just want to share value and share wisdom, show people how to trade, and because I love it. Like I said, I teach freedom, not profits. I love it. Trading is the best job that I could ever ask for. And I'm so grateful that God put in my life. And my whole goal is to simplify trading for others. You don't need to buy a course to simplify it for somebody. Not everybody wants to learn how to trade from me. And I love that. A lot of people have their own strategies. A lot of people just need that simplification. They've been taught and they've been deceived. I've been deceived as well. And I used to think you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this. And that's not the case. That's why I said the same thing earlier about starting a business. You can start a business as a trader. Trust and believe. You don't have to be making $20,000 to start a business. You can be making $50, $100 and start a business. If your intentions is like, yo, like I'm on my come up, like I'm on my come up. I just want to document my journey, be around like-minded people. This is what I made. Hey, I made $50. And keep this in mind, right? You made $50 and you were actually really happy about that $50 that you just made. And imagine you have your own community that you start, right? And imagine that person that they just made $100 or $500 and they see somebody else that just made $10,000 and they're, oh, I only made 100. Oh, I only made 500. And it's like, wait a minute. Bro just made $50 and he's jumping off the wall. He is so happy, or she is so happy. And I'm sitting here beating myself up and I made way more than they made, but yet they're more happier than me. And it's like, yo, it don't matter how much money I made. I want that peace that they have. I want that happiness that they have. They're actually grateful for that. I want that. I want that. I want to be around somebody like that. And boom, you just planted the seed in that person. And guess what? You provided value for them. Teaching people how to make money is not the only way to provide value. That is the one biggest thing that God has taught me. And that's why I'm so grateful that that's the way that I have my business structured off of. It's not teaching profits, it's teaching freedom. You guys can do whatever it is God calls you to do. Just be yourself. That's the number one thing. It's okay to be different. Be yourself. And always remember this, right? It doesn't matter what you do. It does not matter what you do, bro. Or sis. Somebody is going to hate you. Now you good, bro. You good. You good. You good. You good. All good, bro. You're not spamming the chat. You good. We just having a conversation. It's basically like having a back and forth conversation. It's just like you just can't like talk to me. Like you're just not here talking to me. We're just having a back and forth conversation. That's cool, bro. No issues, no hate. I appreciate you for pulling up and being here. Like I'm grateful. Like you took the time out of your Saturday at, well, I don't know what time it is where you're at 9 p.m. to sit here and chop it up with me. I'm grateful for that. Truly grateful for that. I'm gonna go to what you're saying in a second. I was just like, spirit was moving. But yeah, be yourself, bro. Oh yeah, back to what I was saying. Remember this. Jesus was perfect and without sin. And yeah, and he was doing nothing but providing value. He was saving people, he was healing people. Jesus had it all. All those spiritual gifts, he had it. He was healing people, he was bringing people back from the dead, he was turning water to wine. Jesus was doing everything, saving souls, warning people, he was feeding people. And guess what? People still hated him. So it don't matter if you follow the trend or don't follow the trend. You can try and be like everybody else and fit in. Guess what? You're still gonna have somebody that hates you. There's still gonna be, if you try to fit in with everybody, there's still gonna be somebody that's jealous of you. As simple as that. So if you stand out, guess what? People gonna hate you anyway. So you pick. You pick which one you want to do. Do you want to fit in and be somebody that you're not for the rest of your life and do something that you hate doing? The same exact thing that you're trying to break free from. Let's say, for example, you work a 9 to 5 that you hate. You want to break free from the matrix. But all you're simply doing is you're not breaking free. You're going from one thing to the next. You're still in the matrix. You're still doing something that's not you. You know that's not the life that you want to live. You don't want to be working for somebody else. You want to work for yourself. You want to do your own thing. And yes, you decide to do that with your own business. But guess what? You're still a slave. You're a slave to your lust, because your lust is the attention. Your lust is the money. You're still a slave. All it is you're just making more money. But now you're just a slave with more time, I guess. And now you don't have to answer to this person X, Y, and Z, but you're still a slave to it. Do it with the right intentions, and people are going to gravitate to you for that. As simple as that. That's why I'm here at 9 p.m. Bro, and I appreciate that. Like I said, I was like a quick testimony, right? Quick little story time. I was gonna make it like a video, but that lust rage demon. I'm telling you, bro, that lust rage demon. That's the thing that needs to be talked more about when it comes to this trading stuff, bro. And just the whole overall as well. These things that we deal with on the charts, it's just magnified from what we deal with in real life. Lust if you deal with lust, and lust is not just sex. Lust is not just like intercourse or like that type. No, lust could be money. You can have lust for money, you can have lust for food, you can have lust for fame, attention, um, and all that type of stuff. But lust, like the biggest thing is like that lust, like for let's say like the sex thing, right? You could be wanting to make money so you can attract all the females or all the men. That's not good, bro, because you're gonna be in this constant endless cycle. And guess what? You're gonna only attract those women that just want you for your money, or those men that just want you for your money. But lust, and that's one of the biggest things that's promoted. Like lust is just crazy, bro. That's amazing. The Lord freed me from that February 29th, over a year ago. All praise to the Most High, bro. All praise to the Most High. That lust stuff. And I've realized that, like, a lot of people don't talk about that. But one thing that I used to realize and remember, like, watching corn, I don't know if you can say that with algorithm, but watching corn and masturbating and all that type of stuff, whether you're a guy or girl, that actually makes you a worse trader. The real talk, that actually messes you up a lot. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, the P-word thing was Vegas instantly. I'm telling you, bro, that messes you up. That's one thing that I used to struggle with, like especially like in my beginning stages of like trader. And I realized it's a night and day difference. And then on top of that, when you're dealing with that and you're in the truth, oh man, that's terrible. Because what would happen is I would do it back then, right? And I would just lose confidence. I would feel so drained. I would feel so tired and lazy. So I would be less confident on the charts. Like going on like a losing streak or something like that, I couldn't handle that. I will always beat myself up. I'm like, damn, man, I messed up. And that correlates to the charts. Remember, all trading does is just magnify it. Whatever it is that you're dealing with, if you come to the charts with that, trading will magnify that. And you can either use that as a strength or as a weakness. Look at it as a blessing. If you're dealing with lust and that, let's say, corn addiction, and trading reveals that to you, be grateful. It's like, wow, this shows how big of a problem that I really have. And it may be things that you deal with that you don't even know that you deal with, but trading will bring that out. Wow, I actually do. Let's say, wow, you actually do deal with greed, or you actually do have anxiety or FOMO. But think about it. You're just like that in public. You're always afraid to talk to people. Like you always have that social anxiety and X, Y, and Z. And you see that correlates to the charts. And when that magnifies it, now guess what? You can become more aware of the things that you're struggling with off the charts, and that's going to help you on the charts. Bro, I'm telling you, bro. That's a conversation that a lot of people don't want to have, bro. Corn and masturbation, that's a conversation that a lot of people can't have because they love it. And that's so promoted because it's not spoken out against. It's promoted that you should do that. You see what's going on now, especially like with AIs, right? You can create your own AI model. Perfect, just the way that you want it, or him. Exactly the way that you want. When these AI robots start coming out, man, the AI robots gonna be having, intercourse, with the men and the women, bro. That's just the reality of it. People promote that. People promote lust. Listen to all, like, I don't listen to it, but like look at the music and stuff. That's what is being promoted. Smashing, pumping and dumping, um, single baby mamas, I don't need no man, X, Y, and Z. Just want the one night stand. They just using them for X month, bro. Like that's not cool. That's not cool. If people knew what was feeding off of their psychic soul, they wouldn't enter. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Like that's like people think that. I used to think that. We were all in the world, right? I used to think that lock the door, make sure nobody watching, grab the side, turn the volume down. You know what I'm saying? Nobody watching. You think that. But those demons are watching and they're waiting on you. They cannot wait. They cannot wait. And there's a reason why you build soul ties with these people as well. I don't know about like for me, that's one of the biggest thing that I noticed. For me, I knew it was like, yo, I gotta like stop because it would only be certain like stars that I would go to that could only get off to. It was only them certain ones. Like I could just go into the website and everything, wouldn't get off to it. I had to go to this one or two or however many it was, these specific people. And there's a reason why this stuff is free. Think about it. That industry is a $1 trillion industry, bro. If they put a price on it, people would easily pay for it. They could charge $5 a month, still make trillions of dollars off of it. People will pay $5 a month for that. 110%. Look at these OnlyFan models, right? You've guys seen the statistics. I don't remember what year it was, but the OnlyFan models made more than what all of the NBA, was it NBA or NFL or something like that? All of the NBA and X, Y, and Z athletes, the OnlyFans models made way more than that. And a lot of these OnlyFan models, all they're doing is just giving you pictures of their feet or just giving you pictures of them in their underwear and stuff like that. For example, they may do like the stuff that you get for free, like, on the websites, but they're just, and I'm telling you, those soul ties that people build with them. Imagine having that type of soul tie and trying to like break free and become like successful on the markets and lock in on the markets. You're opening doors. So when things start hitting the fan, because we all go through it. The Bible tells us there's a time and season under the sun for everything. When you studying and it's like you feel like, yo, I don't get it, and it's not clicking and everything seems so confusing, it's because of all of these doors that you're opening. Watching those websites, you're opening all these doors, and it would allow, think about it. The Bible tells us, I don't want to say the wrong scripture, but it says that people receive not the truth, and for this cause, God will give them over to a strong delusion that they will believe a lie. Remember those spirits that were tormenting Saul? God will allow those same spirits to torment you. So you're dealing with all this mental stuff. All you're doing is thinking about these women, or let's say men, that if you're like a woman, but all you're dealing with is that it's like, bro, do you really truly think that you can lock in on the charts? You so focused on getting it off. Gold playing out right now. You so focused on trying to get it off. Your setup playing off. Your setup taking off. You trying to get it off. Your setup taking off. And then guess what happens? You just got it off, and you went to go see that your setup took off, and now guess what? Now you drained, and now you beating yourself up. I'm telling you, bro, that's one of the biggest things. Like, if people will put more emphasis on those things off the charts and stop focusing on the money all the time, the money is going to come. That should be common sense. If you have a strategy, as simple as this, it don't matter what your banking account is, don't matter what your trading account. If you back test it and study the strategy, that works. And if you keep on applying it and keep on doing it, isn't it common sense that over the long run, if you keep on staying consistent with it, you're going to make more and more and more money? It doesn't matter how long it takes. It's common sense. If you keep on doing it, eventually. But the biggest thing is when you build it up, you can tear it down just like that. The Bible talks about this. Very, very key. It says, have your foundation built on the rock. Don't have your foundation like built on the earth. Because if you have your foundation built on the rock, and let's say you messed up, you fell short, you ended up over leveraging a little bit, you grew your account X, Y, and Z, you fell short, you get right back up. You get right back up. Or it's like you're not going to, you don't have the love of the money, so you're not going to over leverage. Like, you don't get to that point. Not everybody over leverages. Not everybody just wants to over leverage and just, oh, that's a thing that everybody deals with. No, that's not the case. Speak life is your life. Some people, it's like, you really at that level. It's like, bro, over leverage is nothing to me. I don't deal with that. But you may mess up, you may fall short, you have greed or whatever the case may be. You get right back up. But if your foundation is not built on a rock and is built on the sand, built on the earth, what's going to happen is you're going to get that dopamine. You're going to get that like consistent like profits. You're going to make a big amount, but your foundation was not built on the rock. And all it takes is that one loss, and now you spiraling downhill. You took your $100 account. Let's say 1,000. You took your $1,000 account all the way to $5,000. That one trade, and now you start spiraling back down. Not only did you take it back to 1,000, now you're actually in the negatives, and you took it back down to 300. And now you're trying to rush to get back to 1,000, and now you're back to 100. If I can just only get back to 500, now you're down to 50. Now you're down to 30. Now you go all in on this trade. It's either make it or break it, and it breaks it, and now you just blew your account. When your foundation is built on the sand, that's what happens. That's why I used to blow accounts so much. That's why I blew so many accounts. My foundation was not built on the rock. It was built on the sand. That's why other people blow your accounts, because your foundation is not built on the rock. It's built on the sand. You feel me? Oh my god, my god, my god. Christian, what's good, Brody? You know we getting it in, man. Not to mention, oh man. Oh man. Hey, you know the truth, bro. The spiritual world, these witches out here don't sleep. Facts, bro. You gotta understand these witches know the Bible too. Remember, Satan knew scriptures. Satan knows the Bible. Satan knows more of the Bible than any one of us. He tried to tempt Jesus with the scriptures, and what did Jesus do? He used the scriptures to fight him off. Oh, these witches, they know what's going on. They know the deceptions. They know the doors that's being. And a lot of these witches, if you guys do the research on it, a lot of these witches actually tell you that, yo, like, you know, when you watch corn and masturbate, all this, you know that you like these are demons. These are spirits that you are, you know, opening. They flat out tell you that. They proud of that. That's what their job is to do. They're supposed to cast spells on you. So of course, when they get the opportunity, remember they're prideful. A lot of these people are prideful. When people that have that pride in them, because the Bible says knowledge puffs up, but when they got that pride in them, oh, give them an opportunity to tell them how they deceiving people. Give them the opportunity. Oh, they gonna turn up. They gonna turn up. They gonna let you know. They gonna let you know. It's all about these. Not to mention they were sliding trans stuff into straight categories. And oh yeah, you know that's one big the LG too. You can't talk about that. You can't say that. You can't say that. You can't say that on the oh, it's so crazy. You can these rappers can promote it in X, Y, and Z, but as soon as somebody say it on YouTube, shadow ban, channel ban, strike, and X, Y, and Z. Oh yeah, that's one big deception. The Bible tells us that we should not, a man should not lay down with a man, women should not lay down with the men, and it's like it's so crazy, right? When you speak out against this stuff, why do people get so mad? I'm telling you, that's the number one way to literally win any battle. You do exactly what Jesus did and use the scriptures. Do I care if people want to be a part of that community? No. I could care. You, it's your life. You do you. But do I support it? No. If I see that, would I speak out against it? Would I just, yes, I'm going to just share the scripture. Tell you what the word tells us. A lot of people, they don't know. A lot of people, they just don't know. The Bible says that people are deceived and they're deceiving others. A lot of people don't know. They think that what they're doing is right. They think that, you know, oh, well, I can do this and, you know, I can still be this and sleep with other men. And, you know, God still loves me. God still loves me. I can do this and, you know, God still loves me. Even though he tells us not to do it, I'm good. I'm good, money. Even though the scriptures talk about all of that. The scriptures say that if you know the truth and if you know that you shouldn't be doing it, and you continue to willfully sin and continue to willfully do it, like the sacrifice is no more there. That's what the scriptures say. That's here. And it's like, bro, if people want to take it and throw it in the trash, that hey, do you? Do you? Do you? Let me see. The sin leads to transgression. Yep. Then iniquity and admit it. Yep. Yep. With the most high. That's the DNA. Yes. 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 That's like one of the big, a lot of people deal with it. I have to say poker helped me develop the patience and pattern marking involved in the structure of these fights. Interesting. I've never played poker. I've never ever played poker. Development. That's actually dope though that I helped you though. It's a ritual, exactly. It's a ritual. It is a ritual. There's a reason why. That's the reason why when I know everybody, if you stop watching corn and doing all that type of stuff, you've all experienced this. We've all, women and men. But when you were watching corn and all that type of stuff, you never had those like wet dreams for the most part because Satan, he had you in the physical world, so he can't get you. He's not gonna mess with you in the spiritual realm. When you stop, hey, you not open up those websites no more. Now all of a sudden you have those wet dreams. Now you have the succubus for the men, and then I think it's the incubus for the women. Now all of a sudden you have these demons in your dreams, you know, having intercourse with you. That wasn't happening before. Now you're having these wet dreams, and that's all one big way to try to get you to go back into it. It makes you feel like, oh well, man, I relapsed. Well, if this is the case, that's what happens. If this is the case, I might as well just keep on doing it anyway. I keep relapsing. I keep falling short. That's why you don't count the days on that. Like really, it just keep going. It just keep going. Yep, exactly. Oh, of course, bro. Of course. That happened a lot of times, and it gets to the point. I'm telling you, I'll never forget this because like back then, even though we know we want to give it up, in those dreams, we just keep falling, right? Like in those dreams, even though we wanted to give it up, like we weren't doing it in the physical realm. We were really truly trying to give it up. Like we really stopped watching the websites. But then that dream, we just can't control ourselves. We always fall short to it, right? And I'll never forget. I kept on doing that, but it got to one point. I'll never forget it. And it like opened up my mind. It was one of those times where that happened, and I actually was cautious and I said no. And I actually made the decision. It was like a girl, like she was beautiful and everything, right? She was trying to fill up on she just got like out of a bad relationship or something like that. She was trying to like fill up on me. And she was like, she was ready to go all in. And I was like, no. I'm like, no, I'm like, no, that's not my intentions. Like, I'm good. Like, she was trying to like, pull down the pants. I was like, yo, and I was like aware of that. And then I woke up and I'm like, God, I know that was you. I know that was you. I know that was you. And obviously not every time you're perfect, but when those things type of happen, like God is like you're leveling up. Because if Satan can't get you in the spiritual realm, he's gonna try to get you in the physical. If he can't get you in the physical, he trying to get you in the spiritual. It's simple. And then as you're leveling up, Satan isn't stupid. Satan is wise. Satan's not stupid. The Bible says Satan deceives the whole world. So as you're leveling up, the women, like let's say the modern women, like, let's say a lot of women that like, show off their ass and like all they do is just show off their body and twerking and all that type of stuff like that, have they cleavage out. That's all they want to show. They just show off their body. And to you, like, bro, that's level 10 work. That was disgusting to you. That's it. That's not that like that doesn't turn you on. That actually turns you off because the type time, like you don't want that. Like you trying to seek that woman of God. You trying to seek that wife. You trying to be fruitful and multiply. Like you trying to be on that time. You're not in the world no more. You're not doing that no more. And you trying to level up. That that doesn't turn you on. And Satan knows that doesn't turn you on. So what he gonna do? He's smart. He gonna send that so-called woman of God, because the Bible says Satan comes dressed as an angel of light, not with the horns and all that. He gonna send that woman. She dressing modestly. She looking real good. She your type too. She dressed modestly. She take care of herself. She tell you she can cook, she can clean, she can do all of that. And what happens is he doesn't get you to fall for like the lustful part, but now he gets you under that spell. Now all of a sudden you start worshiping her more than you worship the creator. And now what starts happening is like he will get you entangled with her. And then all of a sudden, now you start believing everything. Now knowing you're supposed to be, the order. You know the order. God, son, man, woman, you know the order. You know that the man is supposed to lead, and now all of a sudden you start letting her lead you because you don't want to hurt her feelings. You don't want to lose her. And now all of a sudden you pull a Solomon. Solomon fell to lust. Remember, Solomon started worshiping all these other women's gods and stuff like that. Solomon was and still is the wisest man to ever be here. The Bible said that in Kings. It said that there has been none before you, and there will never be none after you. That's as wise as you were. So Solomon, who was the wisest man, still fell to that. You pull the Solomon. You start following their gods and start following their traditions and stop following all the paganism and all this type of stuff like that. And it's like, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings. Now you start letting the women run the household and you're afraid to speak out. But you was just like, you know what I'm saying? And that's what Satan would do. And that's how he can get you to go back into that. Hey, this spiritual warfare is real, man. It's like having a dream when you're about to go to the yes. It's like having a dream when you're about to go to the restroom, to wake yourself up before pee in the bed. Absolutely. I gotta agree 110%. Appreciate you, bro. Much love for pulling up, bro. You stay safe, bro. Yeah, I'm actually about to hop off too. In a second. We went in. I definitely appreciate you all for pulling up. Appreciate you so much for the call. I would try to fix my OBS. I wanted it. This is good. We still was able to go in regardless. So I'll probably like this. I actually like this. I'm gonna upload this on my channel. I'm gonna try to like let it finish and everything. If it lets me, I'm gonna upload this on the channel. But yeah, appreciate you all so much. Appreciate you all for taking the time to pull up on a Saturday night. And I love you all so much. And I will catch you all later on.